It's going to be a drawing activity. So I'm going to give you some markers. We're going to get you to do some drawing. So we're going to get through this with your help. We're going to get through it quickly so that you have an opportunity. Yes. Because you were talking. Yes. Okay, that's the activity for today. All right. Okay. So last Friday we started going over progressive presidents. We went over Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft. This is going to be our last progressive president, Woodrow Wilson. You remember we talked about the election of 1912? Woodrow Wilson, he steps into office.
Ew, stop that.
He's, yes.
Are you the,
She has to spit.
Go.
Oh my god. I just that.
Yes.
Who's collecting the
Peter mine, Hannah.
Amina's dying.
Can I have a...
Come on.
Who's selecting?
We're going to collect it during coffee. Ahmad, I would like you to collect it during coffee. Thank you. Just because it makes distracting during
What if it's like a piece?
No, they need to do that. They need to.
Okay. So next slide.
Okay,
Yeah, but that is Woodrow Wilson, so that's okay. Okay, so we have Woodrow Wilson. He wins the election of 1912. He served 2 terms as president, from 1913 to 21. He's a Southerner, very religious, grew up in Virginia. He's a professor, an academic, political science professor at Princeton, ends up being president of Princeton University, and then before becoming president, he's governor of New Jersey. Yes?
Wait, how long was he governor?
The 2 terms, so from 1913 to 1921.
Can you write this down? Oh!
Yeah.
No!
You don't need to, it's not underlined.
Wow.
Alright, next slide please.
Can you stop? Wait.
You don't have to write it down.
I know.
Next slide.
But already started.
Okay. So as governor, all you need to remember is he was a progressive governor. Remember we talked about Robert LaFollette? He was progressive. So things that he fought for in New Jersey, direct primary, established utility regulatory board, and he allowed cities to adopt commissioner form of government. When he took office in 1912, the triple wall of privilege, these were the things that he was attacking. His reforms, he wanted to go after tariffs. He wanted to lower tariffs. And remember, tariffs are on imported and imported goods. He wanted to lower the cost so it would be cheaper for consumers, for the average person to be able to purchase goods. He wanted to go after the banks, to regulate banks, and he wanted to go after trust, monopoly. A lot of this is similar stuff as Roosevelt. Yes?
So he attacked tariffs.
Yeah, this is called the triple wall of privilege. Those 3 things are tariffs, banks, trust.
We need to write this down.
Which side? These are just the 3 things in his campaign that he called privilege. Like these would be the things that are hurting society: tariffs, banks, and trust. Next slide.
Can you stop?
So when Woodrow Wilson ran for office in 1912, this was his campaign slogan. It was called the New Freedom Reforms. So these were the 4 things that he was trying to push through when he first took office. Tariffs, banking system, trusts, and the 4th one is workers' rights. Like for child labor, for just for working conditions in general. You'll notice there's a lot of repetition with Wilson to like Roosevelt and Taft, because they were all progressive presidents. So a lot of the ideas are the same. He was just trying to make a better society for workers and for everyone. Trusts are monopolies. So like big, like a railroad trust would be, you know, like big robber baron. He owns all the railroads.
Wilson wants that.
No, he doesn't. He's going after that. He uses antitrust law, so he'll use the courts in order to sue to break up trust. That was something that all the progressives were against, especially like Theodore Roosevelt was against trust. He was a trust buster. Taft was a trust buster, and Wilson saw trust as a great evil in society as well. Monopolies were no good.
Hannah, why are monopolies no good?
Because if one of them gets too powerful, they can control everything. Then
Vertical integration.
yeah,
Yeah, but why is it bad if a business becomes powerful?
because maybe it could become more powerful than the government.
What can they do if only one company owns all one thing? What can they do with the prices?
They can check.
Jack them up.
Do they have to like try hard to make things better? Like no competition, and you're not gonna like have to try hard to improve your product. They can charge whatever you want for the product. So things like that. Does that make sense? Why he wants like? So why does he think trust and monopolies are a bad thing for society?
Because it's corrupt.
Well, not the corruption, yeah, but like what else beyond corruption? They can charge whatever they want. Is that good for the consumer, the American people?
Bad is the dollar becomes worth less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
inflation. They need, if there's no competition in the market, the prices will go up.
Yeah. So you guys get the concept.
Wait, is that deflation or inflation?
That's deflation.
Is it deflation or inflation?
When the price goes up and the value goes down. The cost of that goes down.
So what is that?
Inflation or deflation?
That's inflation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So it's, the value goes down.
But this, so there's only a couple things you need to know first. So the new freedoms, this is Wilson's campaign slogan. Next slide. And we're gonna go really quickly through each one. So tariff reform. Tariffs again. This were the fees that they charged on imported goods. Woodrow Wilson, he was able to pass a law, the Underwood Tariff of 1913. It lowered tariffs, so this was better for consumers. This was a historic piece of legislation. Another thing that he was able to do was get the 16th Amendment passed. And what that did is it provided for the first time the federal government could have a graduated income tax. Basically, does anyone know what graduated income tax is? No. If you make more money, you pay more taxes, essentially.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's graduated. It's if you're Donald Trump, you're gonna pay a higher percentage of taxes than myself.
We do not right now. We don't really have a do we have a graduated income tax now or not really?
Not really. Well, it's like in different brackets. All right. The second thing that he did under the new freedom reform, he went about reforming the banking system. So he started the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was able to basically they were able to put real like gold, real money behind the currency. So they were able to issue paper money. They made it so that they could make loans to customers. It made it so that they had more trust in the banks. So you knew that if you were going to put your money in the bank wouldn't go out of business. Your money was backed up by real currency. So that was extremely important. Even the Federal Reserve today, they control how much money is in the economy, so they can sort of regulate inflation and deflation. But it was important because prior to this time, the economy could collapse and there wasn't a lot of control over it. So now the government they have the Federal Reserve in place where they could sort of keep track of the economy. Okay, he fought for workers' rights as well. He fought for lowering or making a legal age for factory workers. So you had to be at least 14. That's the Keating-Owen Child Labor Act. He established 8-hour workday for railroad workers. Do you have a question?
14, you do get paid.
You get paid at
Yeah, you get paid, but not a lot of money. Not what you should be paid.
So there's no like establishment wage.
No, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think even like 20, 30 years earlier, when it was you had laissez-faire presidents, prior to all the progressive presidents, there was no regulation of anything. I mean, you could work an 16-hour day. If you got injured on the job, they could just fire you. There was no protection. So now we're really starting to make progress. Yeah.
Wait, so you could be any age if you like work not in a factory? It's like 14 if you work in a factory.
I'm the age of 14.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, because this is kind of the first steps in limiting child work. It's like this is the first step. Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm
You could be a
saying.
farmer, but this is just for
First
factories.
steps for them to like.
Heating.
Heating, yeah.
Heating oven.
Heating, Owen, Child Labor Act.
Oh,
I think 60, maybe 50. But I'm not sure, it might be different.
No.
There's limits on, I know there's limits on how many hours you can work at a certain age. Yeah.
For this.
Yes. Do you have a question?
You have to like be
Interstate commerce.
Interstate commerce. It's basically,
like how many hours?
it's you sell goods from one state to another. So if I'm a factory owner and I'm making
So like there's
anything, I'm making bottle tops and I'm selling them from Maryland to Virginia, that's interstate, across state lines. So it meant anyone in a factory that had to be at least 14 years old. Next one. And, oh, actually, sorry, go back. Here, go back.
Whoa.
So this, I'll give you a second to write this down because this is the last slide. I'm going to start introducing the activity for today. So,
What are the last two words? Last
The wall. Interstate commerce.
It's right there.
interstate commerce.
Now go to the next one.
No, keep it here for a second.
What?
Okay. So the activity today, the first period, they had a lot of fun with this. You're going to get to do some drawing. So you get to come up with your own. I need your attention just for like 2 minutes and explain the direction to you, and then you get started. So let's see. So basically, you're gonna just. Somebody want to read this, and we'll do it together. Go for it. Underneath the 3 presidents for classwork.
Imagine that each president you see on the picture is another superhero. Give each president a superhero name based on the progressive reform made while he was president, and then draw him wearing his superhero costume.
So does that? Okay, just real quick. So that's the first thing that you're gonna do. First thing you have to do. You have to come up with a superhero name for each president. So go to the next slide.
For all. Trusty Teddy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for all 3. For each president, you're gonna come up with a superhero name. On the back, you're gonna draw a picture. You're gonna draw that superhero. Number 3, you're gonna give your superhero a slogan that describes some of the progressive reforms he made when he was president. Yep. Then you're gonna describe his nemesis. This is an example. So for progressive, you're gonna your nemesis is gonna be urban poverty demon.
And you like
That's
spend
just,
time thinking about what to draw. Then you'll be
You're gonna tell how he got the name.
We're in our class.
Have a question? I need everyone in the back. I need everybody paying attention. Just real quick. Shh. Can I have eyes up here? Christian.
Can you put a last name down underneath Christian too?
What?
Put a last name down too. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Under the past administration that said
It was in 1913. It was.
Oh, wow.
draw something like that.
I want you to be creative. So it doesn't need to be like this. You can do anything. So, for instance, if I was gonna do something for Theodore Roosevelt, some ideas. He came up with a square deal.
Big stick.
Well, big stick, bullet pulpit. You're gonna.
Here's a good, just practical example for somebody who did it on our first grade class. Why are we doing this? I hear some complaints. When you are going to be taking your test and you have to think about these three guys, they're really similar. So if you guys can think about what they're like, and then when you're taking the test, you'll be like, oh, I remember I drew Roosevelt with a big stick in his hand, and that meant like his foreign policy. You're going to be more likely to be able to answer a question like that. So anyway, here's an example of somebody who did it last class. It doesn't have to be super detailed. Just put some thought into it. Think about it.
I can't draw.
If you can't draw, use words. Explain to me what you're drawing.
Yeah, Constitution Man.
It is a classroom period. You will only have class time to do it.
So you got about 20 minutes?
We have markers.
Pass the markers out.
We have markers
So
here.
remember, you gotta fill in everything. I need a name.
Oh my God.
You gotta fill in everything.
Isn't this good though?